Hi, welcome to Working Help Desk Tickets series. As always, these are real-world example. This is a number 4 video in this series. So we're just going to keep it going and learn as much as we can about help desk so we can work help desk. Right? As simple as that. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Irvin, also known as Koboman. Welcome to another help desk working tickets series video. This is number 4 in the series, and there will be more depending on how much of content I can come up with. These are real world examples, and I do ask people to submit tickets through this ticketing system. And for those people that have done so, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I wish people were doing it more. It would make it easier to make more videos and longer content, but it is what it is. So this is what we're working with addition if somebody else submitted an issue. Okay, do me a favor and please in the comments let me know. Just leave a comment saying that you're present, say hi or hello, just to let me know that you're still interested in this type of content. Thank you very much. Okay, first thing we have here is from Pradeep. Need bulk update user attributes in AD. I want to help about bulk user required field updation through PowerShell on Active Directory server. Okay, so Pradeep, I will talk about this towards the end of the video because this is not a help desk issue. I know I said you can submit any of the questions, but you know, and again, I'll talk about it at the end of the video if people are interested because this is more of a server administrator type of question where you are asking for directions on how to do this. And we can certainly talk about this. You can do this through PowerShell. You can run a script. You can do this and that. But this is a help desk video, so I'm going to continue with help desk part of it first, and then we're going to come back to it at the end of the video. So stick around if you all wanted to, if you guys want to check that out. All right, so these are a couple of tickets that I've created myself, so that way we can have more videos. All right, the first one is can't log in to my computer. I tried to log in this morning, but password is not working. Okay, so first thing first, always make sure you sign a ticket to yourself so you can get credit for it. So typical can't log into my computer is an issue that comes up a lot. It's probably the most common issue that comes up in help desk. I can't log into my system. Password most likely expired, and for that we can reset their password and check on the password. Go to Active Directory and check on it. Now I'm going to start my virtual machine. I'm hoping I still have what is it called? Hyper-V manager. Hyper-V. Hyper-V. Oh, okay. Unfortunately, I don't have. I think I re-imaged this computer and I lost a virtual machine which had Active Directory in it. Okay, so but that's okay. I have a video on this. I already have a pre-recorded video which I will plug in as part of this video on how to reset a password in Active Directory. So don't worry guys, I will show that here after this brief intro. So what's the main reason for not able to log into computer? You know, password expired. That's the most reason. That's the most common reason. A lot of times the issue can come up where somebody forgets their password, and this can come up when somebody goes on vacation or just resets their password on, let's say, Friday, but they don't work Saturday or Sunday. They're off from work, come back on Monday, and they forgot what their new password was, or they didn't memorize it or even write down, which you never should write down. Never suggest somebody to write down the password. So those are the most common reasons for somebody not able to reset the password. So I'm going to reply here and I'm going to say, okay, I will, hello, this is Irvin with Help Desk. I can check on your account to see if any issues. You can leave it vague like that, that's okay. However, you do need to verify their name, maybe even their login ID, so that way you can log in. The company that you work for may have specific rules on things that you can ask from the user when it comes to this type of stuff because it's a security issue. But in this case, uh, we're going to pretend that that we already that we are allowed to ask them for their login ID. So I'm going to say, what is your login ID for the computer? I'm going to specify for the computer because users can get confused because you may have login IDs for gazillion different things, different websites, different applications, different software. So we're going to ask them, what is your login ID for the computer? For the computer. And you can word this any way you want, just so that a user understands what you're asking specifically. Because they might, if there's a chance that they might give you a login for something else. Keep in mind the users don't know much about computers, and that's okay because chances are users are a lot smarter than we are when it comes to working on something else. So that's okay. It's okay to assume that somebody doesn't know anything about computers because it's okay to assume that I and you don't know anything about some other stuff. That's a fair statement. And notice how I said ID for the computer. I chose to do that because a user mentioned I can't log into my computer. To keep it more relevant, what this does, it expedites the response instead of them coming back, well, what is my ID? And then you realize that they gave you the wrong one. And you can be talking. This might be a phone call that you get on help desk as well. So it might be on a call talking to somebody. Highly likely, actually, that this would be a phone call. Somebody calls you on help desk and tells them I can't log into my computer. You can also look up the user, in this case Mike Moser, inside of Active Directory, and that's okay. And then, but you do have to confirm if there are more than one Mike Moser, then you have to confirm that it's the correct one. So you can cross-reference their location, their phone number, all that stuff. So that way you're like, oh, okay, well, this is Mike Moser at, I don't know, Chicago, Illinois. You know what I mean? Or, oh, wait a minute, no, that's a different Mike Moser in New York. You know what I mean? So, you have to confirm this type of stuff before you go in and start resetting passwords. So first place, Active Directory. I'm going to plug that in video, but the second part of it, we're going to do it inside of Office 365 because that sometimes is integrated and all together. So I'll show that in this video, but first part of it, I'm going to show a clip from my previous videos that shows you how to reset the password in Active Directory. Now, as somebody who might start doing basic tech support or help desk, they may get a call from, for example, Larry here. Larry calls in and says, I can't log into my computer. Well, we can look them up in Active Directory, scroll through, but the best way to find them is to right-click the user's folder and then select Find. I always say this. This is the easiest way to navigate this thing. Did I say Larry? Larry Buffett. I'm sorry, guys. It's early in the morning for me. And, sometimes my short memory, to be honest, is not that great. So we search for Larry, and Larry Buffett comes up. And just to show you, if we were to search for, was it Mike? If we were to search for Mike, there will be multiple Mikes. So you might want to be specific when you search. So let's say we're searching for Mike here. You can see there's two Mikes again, right? But we know it's Larry. So we're going to search for Larry. There's Larry Buffett. We found him. Easy peasy. We're going to double click on him. I'm sorry, we're not going to double click on him. This is details about their. Anyways, I'm trying to keep it simple, so we're going to close that for now. This is another video. So we found Larry. We just want to reset his password. That's it. We just want to reset his password because he can't log in or maybe unlock his account. So we're going to right-click Larry here. It's very simple. We found Larry. Whether it's in here or inside of this big thing where we have to scroll down, it's going to be the same thing. Once you find Larry Buffett, we're going to right-click with the mouse, And then we're going to, guess what? We're going to reset password. And here we can set new password. And again, it kind of looks like similar when we created his login ID, right? Remember this thing where it says user must change password and next log in? And it kind of gives you this thing where it says user must log off and then log on again for changes to take effect. So we're gonna have to tell him that if he's logged in already into computer, that he needs to log off. That's what it says here before we change his password. So best thing to do is tell him restart your computer, reboot. And it looks just like when we created his password. Sometimes people try it too many times and they lock themselves out. There is a limit to how many times you can or try to use the wrong password. So if he is locked, what we want to do is click here where it says unlock the user's account. This will do it once we click OK as well. But we're going to give him a new password. So we're going to give him a new password. And you can call it whatever you want, depending on what security policy is for your company. You can just call it Monday 1. Let's say today is Monday. Let's say today's Friday. You can call it Friday 1, just so it's simple for him to kind of type in. I try to make these simple and keep them very simple for them, as long as I'm allowed to, right? So whatever the password is, you have to confirm it, and you tell him this is the new password. And whenever he tries it, he's going to be forced to change it so that way you don't know what his password is. And then we'll make sure that he's unlocked in case he tried way too many times the same old password. So chances are he might be locked. This way we're going to unlock him. And now the password for Larry has been changed. We can tell Larry, okay, your new temporary password, keyword temporary password is Monday 1. All right, welcome back from that clip. So here are a couple of ways to reset password through Active Directory, through Azure Active Directory. I should have specified that. So inside of admin.microsoft.com, so Microsoft 365 Admin Center, select Azure Active Directory. And from here, you can look up the user. So you select on users. Okay, and then you can search. What I do is I do a search is the fastest way to do it, just like in Active Directory. I'm sure I've mentioned that in the other clip. And here is Mike Moser. Notice how his name is slightly misspelled. The other one has 2 S's, I believe. And that's okay. Make sure you confirm that it's him. Select him. And then select reset password right here. And then it's going to come up on the right-hand side. Select reset password. And it's going to automatically generate a temporary password that is also simple to remember. Now this is a temporary password, just like in Active Directory. They go in and they will get a notification to change the password. And again, it's okay to have a simple password to give it to them because they're going to change it anyways and you will not know what that is. So that's how you do it through Azure Active Directory. There's a third way, through Microsoft Admin Center. Select users, active users. I'm going to search Mike Moser. Here's Mike. Same thing, select here. And then, again, reset password. This was going to be a little bit different when I click it. It gives you an option to create automatic password, or you can type in the password. And you can select require this user to change their password when they first sign in. Very important, because you don't want to know what their password is afterwards. And then I'm just going to call it something simple. Let's say today is Monday, which is not, but that's okay. Let's say this is a call that you get on a Monday. So I typed in Monday 123. So you can see Monday 123 as a simple password. And I'm going to select reset. And now I can tell him, try Monday 123, Mike. Hello, Mike. Try Monday 123, Mike, check. And Mike is going to check, and then he's going to be able to log in. All right. So that's that. We're going to move on to the other ticket after we close this one, of course. So we're going to add internal note, helped user reset password. That's it. You don't need anything else. That's that. select to complete the ticket, close the ticket, and that'll do it. If you're coming across my channel with these help desk ticketing videos, the system that I'm using here is called Jira, but all the ticketing systems are very, very similar. It's just a matter of knowing where the buttons are. But it's the same deal, same everything. There might be slight difference when it comes to, rules that they use, if you will, or like companies have different templates that you need to follow, I should say, that you have to hit. And that's part of QA, quality assurance. I think the QA stands for quality assurance, but it's basically how well you do when it comes to hitting your questions and answers points when talking to a customer, especially if you're on a phone, because you may be recorded, and then later on they're going to review your call and grade you for it. So if they demand of you to verify their name, verify their phone number, verify their address, and everything else that they want you to verify, make sure you do that first before you do anything. So that way you get a good grade on your phone calls. Okay, here's another one. It says Pulse not working. Well, what is Pulse? Well, we'll figure it out. I can't log into Pulse. I get password invalid. Okay, we're going to get to that. Again, I'm going to assign ticket to myself, make sure I get credit for it. So in this case, Pulse is actually a VPN. It's called Pulse Secure, but any VPN software will be something you deal with the same way, because this example is specifically so that way we can talk about Pulse. I'm sorry, that we can talk about VPN, but VPN software is very similar in many ways. I have a video that if you want to check out, I'm going to make it pop up on the right top hand corner on why you don't actually need a VPN as a normal person working from home, like on your personal computer. So if you want to go check that out video, I highly suggest it for people who are going to get into help desk or want to start in help desk, because it explains VPN a lot further. However, businesses do need VPN. So that way you can connect. VPN allows you to connect to the company's network, so you can access the company's resources, like their internal websites, their internal storages, internal anything, internal network, everything that's company's internal related. You need a VPN, and VPN basically creates a connection, like a tunnel, a road, if you will, that allows you to basically go in there and access whatever it is that you need. All right, so in this case, again, this is, especially nowadays, people working from home, this is going to be a very common issue that comes up. Pulse not working. I can't log in. I get password invalid. 99% of the time, this issue is with the user not knowing how to log in properly, because there's a method to it. There is a method to it. And I'll explain to you what that is, on how to make sure that the user can log in properly, and that they make sure that they don't have this problem in the future. Okay, so the main issue here is the password is invalid. So we know they're not doing it right. Well, how do I know it's not a connection issue? Because whenever they connect, whenever they open up a VPN, whenever they open up VPN software, let's find an example of how this looks like. Pulse Secure VPN. Whenever they open up a connection to connect to, here, we'll use this one here. Yeah, let's use this one because I don't feel like spending too much time going into this. So this image is a little bit blurry. I apologize. This is just what I found on the internet. But this is kind of what it looks like. Let me try this one here. This one's a little bit better. So whenever they open up Pulse Secure VPN software, they get a list of servers, and they can choose one to connect to. There might be one, there might be multiple ones. If it's a big company, they'll have multiple ones, because you want to reduce the latency as much as possible. So if you have one in New York, one in Missouri, one in California, one in Texas, that makes sense. Or like one in Australia, one in India, one in China, I don't know. So you want to connect the one that's closest to you, but that's not the problem here. So you would see the list of the servers and you select it and you click connect. Now this image showed that somebody's already connected, but whenever you click connect, you get a pop-up asking you to log in. And the reason this is not a connection issue is because user said the password is invalid. They would not even get to a point where they can see the working servers there. They wouldn't be able to connect, I should say, not connect, but try to connect to a server because there would be no connection whatsoever. Their network, their internet, local internet would not be working. Internet, if they're working from home, trying to connect to the company's servers, company's network, in which case when they do succeed, it would create a virtual private network, which would inherently means it's going to inherit, once it's connected, it's going to inherit the network, local network of the company. Okay, so once you do that, your computer at home essentially is going to be the same thing as if you were sitting at the office at the company's business. Okay, so now we know that there is internet. The internet is working because they got a specific error. It's invalid password. That means it tried to connect to the server, but the invalid password is a clear sign that the server rejected their password. Okay, so there's no connection issue, it's just a password issue. Okay, so now we need to guide them to make sure that they're doing it properly. Now, let me see here. I want to get to a login. Here we go. So whenever they select to log in on one of the servers, in this case Pulse, so they would click on the server and they would get this pop-up and then they log in. But we're going to use this one here for an example because it's kind of filled out for you. Now, the way Pulse is set up, and probably a lot of other VPNs that connect to a business, it's used by a business, is that whenever they get a login pop-up after they select to connect to a server, the first part of it is always going to be their username, which is their login ID, probably for their domain or the same thing as their computer. Remember on the first ticket we talked about a computer. So the same login that you use for your computer, it's most likely going to be that. It would not make any sense to make it anything else because that would just make more passwords. Make more logins, make more passwords, make it more complicated. So a high chance there's going to be the same thing as their computer login ID. Okay, so this is what's filled out here. And then specifically for Pulse and some other VPNs will set it up in such a way where you are required to type in a password that you get for that, which a lot of times is just a bunch of numbers. Right? So you get your VPN password. However, after this, you see where this ended right here? Chances are you are required to add a token number, a secure token ID number. So what that is just a randomly generated code that authenticates the connection. So in addition to your password, after that, they have to enter their Duo, or I should say Duo. Duo is one of the apps that you can use to generate a random code, but a lot of companies can create a token that generates a random code. And I'll show you this, but you have to add that afterwards and then select connect. Okay, so you got to know, make sure you familiarize yourself exactly. So if you start help desk and VPN is some of the things you will come up, make sure you understand how VPN is connected, so that way you can be a professional and professionally guide whoever it is that need help logging in. So chances are this is the issue where they can't log in. However, there might be something else related. For example, their account needs to be adjusted, this and that, and you can certainly go in and check these settings if allowed. Otherwise, user may have to go in there and themselves to, activate the account. If it's, I mean, different things can happen. But in this case, we're specifically talking about not knowing how to log in, because that's the case 99% of the time. There's a small chance that their domain password, their computer password has expired, which would reject the connection as well. So they might be doing this correctly. They might be doing this correctly, but if their domain account is locked out, meaning their account has expired, it will lock out their account and their connection will get rejected. So make sure you check their domain password and account. It's what we literally just talked about in the first ticket. You see how I'm combining these two so that way you guys can understand. Make sure you check that first as well, while agent or user is trying to connect using VPN, because that could be a problem too. Okay, now let me show you Duo token. Let's do Duo token. Why not? Let's do an example. Here it is, Duo. You can get an app on your phone as well, but it's simply this. Here are the randomly generated number. This is a poor example because it shows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but it's more like this. You just press it, you press this button, and it generates a random number like so. 728-292. This is what they need to type in after their password, after they type in their password inside of for the VPN. So again, I'm gonna reiterate this again because I know I'm teaching people who are new to help desk. So they would put in their regular password, and then after that, they put in that code from the Duo token. All right, I'm gonna leave it at that. I think that's good. Okay, I apologize. We should have contacted the customer, but I did all this assuming we're talking to the customer on the phone. Okay, so I did all of this assuming that we are talking to the customer on the phone. Okay, so I'm going to add an internal note. I'm going to say assisted, let's say customer this time, with Pulse login. You can just leave it at that. You can specify what you did, and some companies that you work for may want you to do that, and that's fine. So after this, you can say, I don't know, the issue was with, I don't know. I mean, in this case, if they just needed help logging in, then we help them and show them how to log in. You can say, if you really want, you can say this was a training issue. You can say this because if they were supposed to be trained better, especially if they're new, if it's a new user, new agent, whatever it is, whoever it is, you can say that it's a training issue. But if this is a manager, don't do this because I don't want you to get in trouble. But if you know for sure it's just a user that's new to the company, if they say, I'm new, I don't know, you can say it's a training issue so they can go back and train them again, make sure that they know how to do this properly. Although you just did it. But if it's a repeat customer, let's just say that. If it's a repeat user, repeat customer, if you will, say that it's a training issue. Otherwise, if you want to specify if it's something else, you can. For example, account was locked, you can do that. Whatever it is that happened, just make sure it's noted and then close the ticket. All right. So that ticket is closed. Now, I'm going to touch on this Pradeep a little bit. I may make a video on this later. It's something that I would have to literally create a lab for to create this for you, set this up for you. However, I'll give you a gist of what needs to be done. Okay, so this is related to this bulk updating field update user attributes, meaning that these are inside of Active Directory that we've watched, that we literally watched a video about or a clip of previously. All those attributes, meaning the details, their location, their phone number. This is what Pradeep wants to do, but in bulk, meaning to do it for multiple people inside of Active Directory. So, for example, let's say everybody moves to a different building, and now he has to update this. Instead of having to manually do it for each person, I mean, there could be like 100, 1,000 people that move to a different building. He wants to know how to do it, or he needs help uh, on how to do it through PowerShell. So he has an idea that this can be done through PowerShell, and it can be. However, you have to set it up so that the PowerShell is connecting through Active Directory. And then after that, you can use what they call a CSV file that already has the updated information, but somebody still has to do it. Somebody has to fill it out. And I'll show you this example in Office 365, and then I'm going to expand a little bit about it on how to go about this. Okay, so when you're inside of Microsoft Admin 370, you go to Active Users, and then here's an example. You can add multiple users, and they are talking about here when you upload a CSV file with user information. So you can do this similarly. This is not exactly how you do it through PowerShell or anything. This is just how you do it for Office 365. This will create new and multiple users, well, in this case, up to 249 users per CSV file. But it would have to have a list of all these users, and it would have to have the updated information. So you update this, you send the CSV file through PowerShell, and then it makes these changes to all these people, but it has to be previously done by somebody else. Now, what I'm assuming Pradeep is talking about is going through PowerShell, and this is a separate video I would have to make, just so you know. So I'm just going to show you just briefly through PowerShell. This is PowerShell. It has to be run as admin, and then you would install a add-on to Active Directory that would it's like a snap-in that would allow you to connect to Active Directory, whether it's regular Active Directory on a server or Active Directory, Azure Active Directory. So you have to install the module inside through PowerShell. And then once you install these modules, I think there's another plugin that has to go through. I forget exactly because it's not something I do often. So there's another plugin that goes along with it. You would install it, and then you would run a command through PowerShell that would basically say, okay, all these people at this location, or look for these attributes in Active Directory and then replace them with this. And that's how you would go about doing this. Now, I know you are asking for specific details. Again, this would take me time to actually set up and prepare, basically like a lab to create. And this video is not for that, unfortunately. And but I will see if I can set time for this. In case you didn't know, I have multiple YouTube channels, and right now I'm concentrating on making these help desk videos in the series. And so I'm trying to, since this is number 4, I'm going to try to keep going with the help desk videos, just to keep the series going, because I pretty much have no choice, mainly because I have my other channel as well to work on, which is completely different from IT stuff. But I'm not saying I will never make that video, but it will have to wait once I'm done with the help desk series. So I'm sorry for that, and I know I said you can ask anything, but I wish this was kind of more help desk related so it's easier to follow, because this is advanced system admin stuff. I'm just going to leave this at that. I'm going to leave this ticket open for now. I may close it later, but again, it's not something you guys have to worry about that are going to work help desk. All right, thank you so much for watching. And I want to say special thank you to people who became members. I appreciate it. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't get too stressed out. Learn as much as you can about help desk and IT stuff. Start simple, like we have in these videos. This is simple stuff that anybody can understand, I believe. And start from there. Just keep at it. And I believe that you can definitely do the help desk jobs after you watch these videos. And you don't need much else aside from basic knowledge on how to use a computer, you know. And this is something with assumption that you guys, these videos are these videos are made in assumption that you guys know already how to use computers up to a basic level. So now we just are basically expanding our knowledge and becoming basically what you can say knowledge workers, if you will, for help desk. All right. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.